lack self-discipline, you do not take yourself seriously. And that is the truth. Like, if tomorrow you tell yourself you're going to wake up early, work out, eat healthy, and you just don't do it, you do not take yourself seriously.
Hey honeys, welcome and welcome back to the channel. Please don't forget to subscribe. Discipline is one of the most underrated parts of weight loss journey, and it's usually what separates temporal progress from long-term transformation. Our today's video is about discipline during weight loss journey. Kindly listen to the videos I've put together and I'll be back soon.
If you want to lose weight and get skinny, you are going to have to do things that you don't want to do. Because weight loss takes dedication and consistency, which means you are going to have to show up even when you don't want to. Anyone who has ever done anything ever worth talking about has done this. They have showed up consistently, and that is what made them successful. And if you want to lose weight, this needs to be your mindset, because motivation will start you, but discipline will always carry you through. You need to be in a calorie deficit, you need to get your steps in, and you need to stay disciplined. That is the formula. It is that simple. And it's not easy, because sometimes you're going to have to do it tired. You're going to do it bored, and you're going to be lonely. That's the reality of losing weight. You have to show up every single day consistently. You do not defy the laws of gravity. You are not an exception. And this is my reminder too, because some days it is hard. So if I'm tired, I'm doing it tired. If I'm bored, I'm going to be bored. And if I'm lonely, guess what? I'm doing it lonely. That's the price you have to pay. The point is, it doesn't matter how you feel. You just have to get it done. Show up on the days that you don't want to, and you'll see results.
I'm gonna be totally honest, bro. When it comes down to weight loss, bro, and everything, dealing with weight loss, you're gonna have to master discipline, bro. You're gonna have to master it. Just completely. Everything about weight loss is discipline, bro. When it comes to being in a calorie deficit, being hungry, going to bed hungry, getting up, going to the gym, controlling your fucking cravings for that fucking sugar and that fast food and that McDonald's and that bullshit. Everything about losing weight is discipline. Everything about it, you're just gonna have to master it. You could do things to cut out your appetite. You could try to take Ozempic. Don't do that bullshit. Don't do that. Don't do it. You'll have do not do that. You'll have a terrible look. Don't take Ozempic. Don't do it. But yeah, everything about weight loss is discipline, bro. Just everything about it. And you're gonna have to master discipline if you want to be successful with weight loss, period. This is a simple grass is green video, but I just feel like I had to say it. When it comes to weight loss, you're gonna have to absolutely master discipline. But yeah, that's all I gotta say.
If you have a significant amount of weight to lose, you need to go through an entire identity shift. What I mean by that is you need to become the person that you want to be now. Start doing the things that the healthy, smaller version of you would do. If she gets up early and keeps her word to herself, start doing it now. If she works out every day, start doing it now. If she eats healthy, start doing it now. If she don't snack and drink soda and indulge in food, start doing it now. One thing at a time, and you're going to slowly, over time, become that person. Go through that identity shift and start doing the things that you see your future self doing, and it's going to happen.
Gross. I lost 15 pounds in about a month. Yeah, I did that. And one of the biggest lessons I learned was you cannot wait for motivation to come. No, ma'am. You have to be disciplined. You cannot give yourself a choice. Kind of like waking up and brushing your teeth. Shouldn't be a choice. Drinking water should not be a choice. It's something you have to do, right? So getting up, getting after your walk, getting after your run, getting after your workout. Do not give yourself the choice. Because once you start waiting for motivation, you're just like, like I'm a little tired today. I could take a rest day. No, because that's how it starts, right? That's how it starts. So discipline is key over motivation. Remember that. Okay, you're welcome. I love you. Get after it.
I saw somebody on here say this, but if you lack self-discipline, you do not take yourself seriously. And that is the truth. Like, if tomorrow you tell yourself you're going to wake up early, work out, eat healthy, and you just don't do it, you do not take yourself seriously. You don't take your words seriously. You don't take your goals seriously. And I think that sometimes it's so easy for us to overlook this because it's like, who are we answering to, right? Like, we made that promise to ourselves and then we don't show up for ourselves, right? But imagine if you made plans with a friend tomorrow. You were going to meet and you were going to hang out, you're going to go on a walk, whatever it was, and your friend just didn't show up. They didn't tell you why, they just didn't show up. you would not want to be friends with that type of person because their actions showed that they don't take you seriously. They don't take your friendship seriously. They don't take your plans seriously. They don't take your words seriously when you make plans. You wouldn't want to be around that type of person, right? We do that to ourselves all the time. Every time that you say you're going to do something and you don't show up, you are essentially telling yourself that you do not take your own self, your own word, your own goals seriously. And I feel like once I finally realized that, it clicked and I was like, okay, even if I don't want to do this, I told myself I was going to, so I have to show up, because if I don't take myself seriously, how is anybody else going to take me seriously?
I really hate to admit this, but I seriously used to be the girl that every 5 business days would convince myself that that was the week I was going to be consistent in a calorie deficit or actually commit to a cut for fat loss. Then every 6th business day, I would listen to somebody on the internet tell me I need balance, and I would use every single invitation to go get mimosas with my friends as an excuse to say screw all of my goals. The nutritional approach I had throughout the week and the mindset that I stayed stuck in were the 2 things that were literally keeping me from achieving my goals. And as somebody who has finally done that, now I'm a weight loss coach who's lost 30 pounds, maintains a body that she loves, and I'm even in an aggressive cut now for fat loss for the summer. I'm having literally no issue staying super consistent and disciplined to actually hit the goals that I want to achieve. So here are all the tips I would give you so that you can actually stay consistent in a calorie deficit long enough to see results. Number 1, your biggest mistake is going into events or just going into your day-to-day with no plan. I used to do this and just count calories as I go and hope that the day works out in my favor, and now I completely changed that to where I pre-log as much as possible. So I pre-log in my fitness pal. I set a standard and an expectation for what I want to achieve, even if my day doesn't include like events or anything. That way that I don't get decision fatigue for making a bunch of choices nutritionally throughout the day, and I can just put my head down and execute on something that I know is going to get me to my goals. I do this exact same thing when I eat out, and it doesn't even have to be knowing the exact calorie intake of every entree you're going to have, but it can be I'm going in with a plan to order this off the menu because I know it's a clean option. I'm going to have this many drinks and I'm holding myself to that standard. Then you know exactly what you want to execute on in order to call that day a successful day in your deficit and check it off. Getting out of the 0 to 100 and all or nothing mindset is the most important factor when it comes to you being successful. Biggest thing that helped me do this is using a maintenance day for my calories as a plan B. So like for example, if I try to go into the day like executing on my deficit, but then it doesn't work out at the end of the day and I don't really have a choice. Maybe there were some unexpected factors come up, or maybe the night just goes really well and I want to have an extra drink with my friends. Realizing that your maintenance calories are a plan B and a safety net to utilize in those circumstances is game changer for your consistency. Another tip I have that you've probably heard but haven't implemented because you think we're lying to you on the internet is that you need to be front loading your day with protein at breakfast, period. There has not been a habit that I've changed that has lessened my food noise as much as that. You need to stay stuck in the mindset of what can I do in order to not get to the point where I'm starving, famished, and making stupid decisions around food. And that's what's happening whenever you only have coffee for breakfast and then you go until 1 p.m. without eating. Stepping needs to be your default setting as a human. We are so convinced that our default setting needs to be sitting, and that is not it. You will make weight fall off of your body if every single time you have the opportunity to get steps in or pace or whatever, you take it. And that's the definition of working smarter, not harder, because it's the easiest thing that you can do if you're able-bodied. And the very last thing is that you will never be successful if you are only defining your progress by your scale weight day to day. Yes, your scale weight should be prioritized as a metric of success when we zoom out and look at like the objective like over weeks and months. But if you're tracking your food, you know you're in a calorie deficit, you know you're hitting your steps, you know you're checking your boxes. You don't have to see the scale translate all the time to know you're making progress. You're gonna see it, you're gonna feel it, and you're gonna know if I stay consistent here, eventually the scale is gonna translate when it catches up, because it's always a week or more behind what you're actually doing in the moment. Define your progress off of the way that you're checking your action items throughout the day, and keep doing that, and you will see the scale translate and you will keep making progress regardless of if it stays plateaued or stuck for a little bit, or if you're holding more water, you're on your cycle, whatever. There's no reason to stress about the scale when your consistency is there, but when your consistency isn't, that's why you're stressing about the scale, because you know you're not doing what you need to do in order to make it drop. Okay.
A lot of people think motivation is the secret, but motivation comes and goes. Discipline is what keeps you moving, even on days you don't feel like doing it. When you are trying to lose weight in a healthy way, discipline doesn't mean being harsh on yourself or following extreme routines. It's about building small, consistent habits and adapt to over time. For example, choosing balanced meals instead of skipping food, drinking enough water during the day, or committing to a 20 minutes workout, even if it's just a walk. These little actions don't look in big moments, but they are fundamental of real change. What matters the most is staying honest with yourself. Discipline grows when you learn to keep promises you keep to yourself. If you said you exercise 3 times a week, this week you try the best to show up every day. If you plan to reduce sugary drinks, stick with it even when cravings hit. Every time you choose the harder but healthier option, you build confidence and momentum. A reminder that discipline isn't about perfection. You always have days when things don't go as planned, and that's completely normal. What matters is that you return to your routine without giving up. Progress is built on consistency and not perfection. The truth is, discipline makes the entire weight loss journey easier. It turns health habits into a lifestyle instead of you try a few weeks. When you stay disciplined, you don't just change your body, you change your mindset, your energy, and your relationship with yourself. That's transformation. Thank you so much, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. See you in the next video and stay safe.